Turning to our top story, firefighters across New South Wales are in a race against time, conducting critical backburning and containment work ahead of increased fire danger this week that begins tomorrow. We've got strong winds, dry conditions and high temperatures on our way. Residents in affected areas being urged to have their bushfire survival plans ready. Joining me now for the latest is Shane Fitzsimmons from New South Wales RFS, of course, the Commissioner. Shane, thanks very much for your time. Just the latest update, first of all. Tomorrow obviously is the first day that you're really concerned about, not that any day is easy at the moment. What regions or fires are you most concerned about?
No, that's right, Tom. Good afternoon. Tomorrow is going to be another difficult day. We've still got just under 95s burning across New South Wales, and half of them, just over half of them, are still not contained. We've got one fire burning at Watch and Act, which is up near the Queensland border, just to the north of Tenterfield. That's proving to be a bit challenging, particularly for the community just to the south of there, Pretty Valley, and all these other fires that we've got burning the length and breadth of the state are all going to be a cause for concern as we head into this much hotter day tomorrow with dry air and some winds coming across the ranges. So we're expecting temperatures in the high 30s, low 40s, really dry air coming out of the centre of the country, humidity's down in the low percentages, single digits below 10%, and winds coming predominantly from the west but northwest. They're not as strong as we've seen in the last month or so, but given the temperatures, given the amount of fire and given the dryness in the landscape and the flammability of the fuel, it's going to be widespread severe fire dangers again tomorrow, which is resulting in 9 total fire bans stretching from parts of the southern ranges and the Illawarra area right through to the Queensland border.
Yeah, we'd urge all our viewers to be so careful then as well. It can be anything, a barbecue, a power tool. You just cannot be too careful. What's the earliest timetable for some genuine relief? Are we talking about major sort of rain to bring this under control? Because it just seems endless at the moment.
Well, Tom, that's it. I mean, the only thing that's going to put a lot of these large landscape fires out is rain, and some meaningful rain. Tomorrow afternoon they're talking about some showers and some thunderstorm activity, but the alarm bells there is that we could see more lightning strikes, we could see more dry lightning, which could result in more fires. The only meaningful prospect for rainfall in the forecast at the moment is really towards the end of January into February, because the next couple of months is expected to be dominated by this above average temperature and below average rainfall pattern that is continuing right through November, December, January, February. But there are some signals that we could start seeing some rainfall, some reprieve towards the end of that January, early February period. And let's hope it does, and let's hope it comes even sooner.
Yeah, it must feel like a long way away in that regard. As for a lot of us in cities, lucky enough to be out of the path of the bushfire, there has been this incredible amount of smoke. Is the timetable for that and that clearing a similar thing until the fires really die down? That could be something that's a bit of a constant over the next couple of months?
Yes, spot on, Tom. And the reality is, in all the coastal areas of New South Wales, which is where our greatest population concentration is, particularly Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, given that there are fires pretty much everywhere to the west of a lot of those population centres, any wind that comes from the north, the northwest, the west, the southwest or the south is likely to bring smoke and more importantly, dare I say it, ash and embers into those more populated areas. And given the dryness of the landscape, given the effect of the drought at the moment, people need to be very mindful of the smoke and the obvious health implications there. But from a bushfire risk, you don't have to be on the back edge of the bush to have your house backing into the bush to be at risk. We're seeing embers and burnt leaves and ash landing tens of kilometres ahead of the main fire front. So people need to be vigilant as we head through these difficult times to make sure they're aware of their own property, making sure it's prepared and clean and tidied up, but also keeping an eye out for embers and ash that might be falling in and around.
So are these people that perhaps normally wouldn't be subject to this warning about making sure your property is in order? You can talk about clearing your gutters, making sure your property doesn't have anything that will light up, obviously being able to soak your roof and that sort of thing, because that quick action can be the difference between a house in the middle of a street going up and the one next door being fine.
That's exactly right, and we go on about this, you know, year in, year out, season in, season out, and property protection, having a bushfire survival plan, conversation with your loved ones is fundamental to improving the prospects of the survivability of not just you and your loved ones, but your home, your property, your shedding, whatever it is that you've got on that property. And we know that the bulk of houses, in some cases, you know, more than 90% of homes that are destroyed by bushfire are actually, they catch alight as a result of ember attack and ember showers that land down on, in and around one's property. So the tidier you can have the place, the less chance embers have got of taking hold in the gutters, on the veranda, in your gardens, up against the wall of the house, and being able to have hoses that can just get to every corner of the property and douse those ember attacks or those small spot fires that might start in and around one's property can make all the difference. Absolutely it can.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone out there that is thinking about whether or not their property is okay, it's a good message. There's still time, and even a hose can make a difference for that ember that does flare up. Shane, thank you very much for your time on a busy day. We'll keep updated.